Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Big Al's Rockin' Podcast. I have with me today Jennifer Benson from the band Ignescent out of Chicago. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well. It is a couple hours past quitting time and it's almost supper time, so it's one of the best times of the day.
Awesome.
You front the band Ignescent. You guys are out of Chicago. You have a new album called Fighting Me coming up. It's going to be released on November the 10th, correct?
Right.
All right. If you will, tell us a little bit about the album, a little bit about the inspiration for the title of the album, and we'll start there.
Okay. Most of the album was produced by Jeremy Valentine and Brandon Wolf of the band New Year's Day, and co-wrote some songs with them too. The other was a single that came out, Monster You Made, that was actually co-written with them. And then the single that came out in September, Not Today, that song was co-written with Josiah Prince of Disciple, and Kevin Young of Disciple is featured on that song in the second verse. Billy Gray of Fozzy is actually in the music video. So it's been fun collaborating with different people. And the inspiration for the whole thing is just a lot about what I've been going through, a lot of struggles the past 2 years, just a lot of betrayals from people and just suffering like with anxiety, depression, and just like all the emotions that came out of what I've been experiencing. And so the fight in me is just saying, no matter what I'm going through, what we're going through, that we're going to keep fighting. We're not going to quit through all the heartache, through all the struggles. We're going to keep fighting. And so that's the inspiration for the title of the album.
That's awesome. In today's day and age, you hear more people bring things to the public attention like anxiety, depression, all kinds of mental health issues. And I'm glad to see that this is being discussed more now than it was, say, when I was growing up in the 70s and the 80s, because that was taboo way back then. And it's just awesome to me to see people get to be who they need to be rather than who they're expected to be.
Yeah, there's so much freedom in that.
I really like the artwork for the album cover. Was there inspiration behind the design of that? Because I noticed that it kind of looks like you.
Yeah, it is me. Yeah, I had some pictures taken and just sent them to my manager, and he actually came up with some artwork ideas and showed me different things. And he's like, what about this? What do you think about this? So that was part of the process. But then also because a lot of the lyrics and everything in the whole themes of the album is what I've gone through. It was just, and the whole album, it's called Fight in Me. So we thought it would be appropriate just to have me on the cover and just explain kind of like what I'm feeling and thinking about through all the lyrics. So that's kind of what it's about. The whole process of it.
And are there any stories behind any of the songs other than Fighting Me?
Yeah, definitely. So the last few years I lost a lot, and I actually went through a time till just maybe a month ago where I was homeless. So not homeless meaning on the street homeless, but lost my home and was living with my parents again, and just like so much garbage was going on, and it just felt like there was one thing after the other, and it just wouldn't stop, and it was to the point where I couldn't catch my breath. I'm like, how much more can I deal with? Like, I just feel like I can't handle anything else, and that's a lot of where all the struggles and depression and was coming through, coming from, and just like a lot of hopelessness and just like crying throughout the day, like I just can't take much more. And I'm usually a pretty positive and hopeful person, so I've been through things, but not like multiple things all at once where it was just like I couldn't take anymore. And so I woke up one day with this melody in my head, and it just said, your love carries me, your love carries me, over and over. And I sang that. I gave the melody to the band, and they came up with some music. And then I shared it with my husband, and he's like, where did that melody come from? And I said, it just kind of popped in my head. And he's like, wow, that's really cool, because that same melody has been in my head the same few days. And this is before I even shared it with him. And so we just feel like this was something that was given to us in a time where we just were lost living with our parents again, just kind of feeling hopeless and down. And we feel like this melody was given to us to give us peace and to give us hope again. And so I'm like, I have to write the song. And so we did, we recorded it, and it's on the album Fight in Me, and it's called Carries Me. So I really hope that song encourages people and inspires people. And there is another song called You're Not Alone. That's a ballad, and that's just coming from a place of just struggling and just telling people no matter what you're dealing with, that you're not alone and you're loved.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Carries Me because the two songs on the album that stood out that I liked the best were Under Attack and Carries Me both.
Oh, okay.
One thing that I will say about this album, I've listened to the whole thing, and considering what the subject matter is, this is a really upbeat, and I don't want to say poppy, but it's kind of a pop rock. To me, it's kind of happy music.
Yeah, I like to write really poppy melodies and mix that with like heavier music. And so I love to do that. But yeah, so there are some themes of hope, a lot of themes of hope through that. And then there's a few themes like Monster You Made, just dealing with the anger and the bitterness and the feelings of what I went through, and like people betraying me and saying, well, this is what you've created in me. It's the monster you made in me because of all the hurt and what you've done to me. But in that, I always still like to say there's still hope, because I believe no matter what the struggles, that there always is hope at the end of the day. So.
Can you tell the audience a little bit about some of the other songs, like the song titles? How many songs are on the album?
Yeah, there's actually 11 songs. There's one acoustic version that's actually going out and being released in Japan. But yeah, so that's there's 11 songs, and yeah, Fight in Me is one. Under Attack, that's one of the ones that actually we're gonna have a music video for that, and that's being released to radio in February. So I'm really excited about that song. And that says shots fired against me, like that's the theme in the song. And it's just like people attacking you for what you believe, and just the things that they don't like you as a person. So that's kind of what that song is about. But again, it's always saying it doesn't matter what people think, I'm still going to keep going, and I want to inspire people to not quit, and just to keep going as well.
Do you all have plans to do any tours or get on any music festivals?
Yeah, definitely. In 2024, we are going to be doing some tours. We're going to be playing at Happens in Las Vegas. We're going to be playing at Life Fest, and we're playing on the main stage, we found out, in 2024. We're playing City on a Hill Festival with Toby Mac. We're going to be playing at Loud and Proud Festival in Germany, and so some others. So you can check that out at ignescentmusic.com. We'll continually update that for shows and events.
Right on. I will put that web address in the show notes, and I'll have you say that again later.
Okay, cool.
Tell me about some of your influences, musically or artistically, or life in general.
Yeah, so a huge influence of mine is Skillet. I love their music. I love the message in their lyrics. We actually got to open for them at Lakes Jam in Minnesota last summer and talk to John Cooper and hang out with him. So that was so cool. I love Flyleaf, like Lacey Sturm, her heart and the passion that she portrays in her music and her performance in Flyleaf, I love. And so that those type of bands are big influences. And actually, Samir of Flyleaf performed with us for a few shows last March on our EP release shows in Chicago. He came out, and then we had an interview with Will Rock, and he was playing guitar with us on that interview. So that was really cool. I've gotten to write a few songs with Samir as well of Flyleaf, and got to open for Lacey Sturm and her solo project, and got to open for Flyleaf at Subterranean in Chicago. And so that was just a dream come true, because I love Flyleaf and Skillet. And Evanescence is another one I love their music and the passion in their music.
Little side note here about Skillet. The loudest concert I ever went to in my life was here in Evansville at the Ford Center. Skillet was the headliner, and they were so loud that it's the only time I've ever been to a concert, and I wish I had brought hearing protection.
Really? No way.
It was that loud. It was honestly it was painful.
Wow, no way. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Well, it's awesome and it's crazy, but it
Yeah.
taught me a lesson. Keep earplugs in your pockets.
Yes, yes. That's a good lesson to learn.
Tell us about some of the members of your band, or actually all the members of your band.
So Joel Seidlitz, he's the bass player of Ignescent. Dusty Winterrod is the drummer. He's toured with Tesla and many other amazing bands. So he is also in a band called Tattoo the Scars. He's also toured with Billy Gray of Fozzy. Tyler Hensley is the guitarist in Ignescent. And yeah, they're just awesome people, super high energy on stage, super creative and great guys.
And you guys being out of Chicago, what is the music scene in Chicago?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, there's some cool venues like the Forge. We've played at many times. We've opened for like Gemini Syndrome there. We've played with September Morning, opened for OTEP there. So that's a really cool venue, one of my favorite venues. Where else? We played at Cubby Bear, and that's a fun venue, Rock House. So yeah, so it's really cool. There's also a lot of like cover bands here too, that sort of thing. But Chicago is big into metal and hard rock, so we're fortunate in that way.
Do y'all get to do any regional touring, or I won't say touring? Do you got regional swaps with like Milwaukee's not too awful far from Chicago,
Yeah.
and then you got Rockford and some of those areas pretty close by. Is there any regional activity music wise?
Yeah, definitely. Madison, Milwaukee, Indiana too. There's some, and then obviously like in the suburbs and in Chicago too. So yeah, definitely. There's Wisconsin is really big for like rock music too. So that's a good place and a place we like to play. At the Back Bar in Janesville is another place in Janesville, Wisconsin.
Got to try to get on to Summerfest.
Yes, we actually played there one time, but I would love to get back there next summer. That would be awesome.
Tell my listeners again where they can find you online, where your social media is, that fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can listen to Ignescent on Spotify. Our new song, Not Today, Monster You Made is on there. Resist is on there. So check us out on Spotify. Go to ignescentmusic.com for all the tour dates. And we have some merch store on there too. You can go to Ignescent Music Facebook, Ignescent Music Instagram. On the bio link in Instagram, you can click on that. I think it's called Linktree. Yeah, our Linktree. And then if you click on that, it'll show you where to go to pre-save our new album, Fight in Me. If you go like a few tabs down under the link tree, we have an online merch store, and then we have some CDs you can pre-save on the other merch store as well. So check us out there. We're on TikTok too, on Ignescent Music. We're on Bands in Town too, under Ignescent, and we have the shows on there too.
All right, Jennifer. Well, thank you for your time, and I wish you all the best of luck. I look forward to catching you at a live show somewhere.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Peace out, people.